a situation as if it was you going through it, you know, and
Yeah.
that's what I feel like that's what helps a marriage.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you don't understand what they're saying. It may sound crazy, but what are they trying to get at? Like, what are they trying to tell me? Because obviously it's something that's hurting them, but it's not hurting me, but it's hurting them. What can I do to make it better?
Yeah.
What can I do to change it? Let's try hard for each other, because at the end of the day, we all we got. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another Healing Conversation podcast with your favorite self-care coach and motivator, Addie Speaks. Today we have two lovely guests on here to share their story about love and how to overcome obstacles in your marriage. They've been married for 15 years with 2 children, a girl and a boy, and I cannot wait for them to share their story. And you know what? You know, they really impacted me. So let's go ahead and have them introduce themselves. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Welcome to
Marlene.
Joseph's.
I'm Marlene, Remy's wife.
And I'm Remy, Merlene's husband.
Awesome. Introduce yourself. Marlene, what do you do? Remy, what do you do?
I work for Publix, bleed green all day.
Yes.
So I do I don't know, engineering, video photography, and 9 to 5 also. So just a little bit of everything.
Yes. So let's go ahead and let's start with the first question. So I want to know, and I'm sure the viewers want to know, how did you two first meet, and what was your first impression of each other?
You want to answer that, or you want me to answer that?
Oh, either one of you guys, both of you guys can answer.
Okay. So I was running a recording studio in the east side of Fort Lauderdale for a long time. And a lot of my clients went to school with Merlene, but I didn't know her at the time. And one day we were done with a session, and then we just went outside for a break. But she drove by and stopped because she seen some of her friends. And I saw her. I was like, oh my God, she's beautiful. And I just like, I shot my shot, and then ended up getting a number, and then here we are 15 years later.
And Marlene, there's always two perspectives. How did you meet? How is your story about how y'all met?
Well, never really dated or anything, but I mean, once I seen him, and I was like, okay, I thought I had an agenda on what I thought I wanted. So I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and see what we can do. See, let's just try. I don't know. I might not know where it's going to go. So I just said, all right, let's give it a shot.
Awesome.
Let's go for it.
See, optimistic. So my other question would be, what drew you to each other and made you realize you guys were meant to be together?
You want me to go?
I want to start with Remy. Yes.
Yeah.
So our process was really long. Like, we dated, we broke up, we dated again and broke up. And then just like our outside experience, like dealing with other people, kind of like shaped us to sit. Like, I made us realize, like, hey, certain things that I've been through in these outside relationships, she would have never done to me, and I don't want to get too much details, but it's just her way of being was so special. Like, she treated me nicely. Like, I mean, she treated me like, I don't know how to say it, like somebody she loved,
right.
And we that's what made us come back together, like after breaking up and get back together and stuff like that, because we knew we were right for each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And Marlene, what drew you to him? What drew you to Remy?
Let's just say the stability of knowing that that person is just for you and only for you. Because we can get in our head, right, for sure, but just the confirmation of knowing that, okay, he has a conscience. You gotta have conscience.
You gotta have a conscience. Yeah.
He actually has a conscience, and I love that about it. And as far as that was the breadwinner to that, and going forward, when I seen that, I was like, okay, you know what? He actually cares. Let's go ahead and do that.
So my question is, where you guys are now, what is love to you guys? Like, how has love changed or evolved from the beginning of your love story until now?
You want to go? Or me?
Yes.
Evolved, yes. There's days you will have to the point where you'll doubt yourself, but when you come to the point where you're talking in that relationship, it's all about talking to each other.
Yeah.
Giving each other what?
The
What do they say?
communication.
Yes, the communication and what do they call it? I can't find that word. But when you're talking to someone, you just want to make sure, oh my God, because I'm all in my head. I can't get out of my head.
Confirmation.
Just that sometimes you just might need that confirmation because you never know. Things change, everybody change, days are different.
Yeah. So for me, my answer to that would be, how can I say it? Like the little things, right? So when we were first dating, it was like all bubbly and lovely and like, oh my God, we're in love. Like we're right for each other. But 15 years later, there's things that annoy you and like, things that push that button and you be like, I don't like this. But her character is so good or great that it overpowers those things. So I feel like the love has changed in a way where it's almost like an unconditional love. Like, so you could compare it to where you have a child, and that child is part of you. And no matter what that child does to you, you're gonna love them. Right. So there's a form of that for your wife also, where almost like an unconditional, like she might have an attitude today, but I still love her. Right. And we can attest to that. Like, in all honesty, just last night, it was like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, but instead of me being like stubborn and like a wall or something, I chose to choose the path of submission. Right. Like, listen, like, hey, okay, what's up? You good? You want me to scoot closer to you? Yeah. Am I too far? Am I on the edge of the bed? Like, so those things you learn, that's where love changes throughout the years, is that learning some type of unconditional love. Like,
learning each other every day.
Yes. I mean, don't take abuse, but still, like, sometimes you got to bend. You know what I mean? To make something strong, like you're forging a knife or a sword, you really have to melt it down, beat it, and then you dip it in oil to make it rigid and strong, and then at the end, that thing is almost unbreakable. Right. So I feel like that's how relationships are. Like you kind of have to you're forging your relationship and building and strengthening it, and it's called quenching. When you dip it in that oil to make it as strong as possible, now you can sharpen that tool, and now that tool can cut anything. So a relationship is like that over the years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. It takes that. So yeah.
And I love your response. So my question would be, what advice you guys can give to young people, especially in this generation, this age of time, about how to date and how to remain committed even when you don't feel, or even though you don't feel to commit to that person. You know how you said like yesterday, you were feeling some type of way, but you still came to her and you said, hey, let me check in on you. Let me really make sure you're okay. So what advice could you give to this young generation who's seeking
Man, the young generation is patience. There's no patience anymore. Like, I feel like the media has made or portray everybody as like everything has to happen now. Right. Everything is like you have to be a certain way. So now they're like, well, if we're going, what they call a restaurant, if you're taking me Cheesecake Factory, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Like that stuff right there. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That,
so it's just what social media is feeding people is the problem. So I feel like for young people, you have to understand caring. You have to be willing to care for that person. Meaning, if you don't want, oh, sorry, I'm drifting. Sorry. But yeah, if you don't want somebody doing something to you, don't do it to them. And then don't go with a motive. You know what I'm saying? The ending goal is happiness.
Right.
The ending goal is family, peace, tranquility. I feel like so a lot of people are just in this fast pace, these young families. But I mean,
You have to have a heart of forgiveness.
yes.
You will always be forgiving. You will always be saying sorry. Not always, but there's times, certain situations that'll come along. Look, I'm sorry. Just be that one to be like, I've heard things that people say, oh, you can't go to sleep mad. You got to give them some time to breathe. They got to breathe. Because if you don't give them time to breathe and collect their thoughts, what solution can come out of it? Give them a little space and just know that you guys have each other. Take care of what you got. We're still like upset with each other, but we'll find a way to where that we'll be like, okay, what do we got to pay today? What do we got to do today? Or what's on the agenda of making payments? Or we're still taking care of our responsibilities, knowing that we're still upset. Okay, what are we doing to fix this problem? What's our solution? Right. What is our end goal?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So still coming together and making sure that your duties as a couple, as parents, as love partners are being handled, even though that you guys are still probably in like a little riffraff right now. So my other question would be, so then how can one navigate challenges or conflicts in a relationship? I think you guys kind of covered that, but what I would ask is, how can someone, well, I'm sorry, what has helped you guys overcome your obstacles? I know you guys can come together, but what have you got? What helped you guys overcome your obstacles?
Yeah, but
some answers might not be answered.
So I feel like, hold on, let me fix this. This thing is bugging me. It's bugging me. Let me fix the camera real quick. No, I don't. Hold on. So don't mind this craziness you're saying.
We'll give you guys some time.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
No, you guys are fine.
I'm locking the camera away. Okay, we gotta plug the power so it don't die on us.
This is the Healing Conversation podcast. We are talking about how we overcome relationship even in difficult times. So
okay. So ask that question again. Now we're all set. We're not going to be moving. Ask that question again.
Good. So my question was basically, what are some of the things that help you guys overcome your obstacles? I know you guys say communication is one, but what are two more things you guys can tell?
Pray.
Not just prayer. Prayer is important, yes. The other thing is analyzing yourself. So sometimes, like, we may have an argument, like, and I may not like what she's saying, and she may not like what I'm saying. But even though I stand strong on what I feel, I analyze what she's telling me. Like, I mean, let's give a simple example: the dishes, right? I'm just, maybe that's a little too simple, but we'll go with the dishes, right? If she tells me, okay, let me change that up. Parking spot and when we pull up in front of the house.
Parking spot.
Yes.
Merlin,
so this is the thing.
About the parking spot.
It's real life. Like, it's real life. So, for example, right, the parking spot. When I come home, she'll park right in the middle. When she don't think I'm coming home, so I'm like, I'm out there now. I gotta get out the car in the street, come in the house, and tell her, like, yo, you need to move your car. But sometimes I'm like, I can't just get mad about it. Sometimes maybe she was in a rush.
Yeah.
Maybe she needed to do this. Maybe I'll analyze it instead of keeping my anger.
I love that anger.
Or not, I ain't gonna say anger, but like being upset about it or something. But if it's a serious situation in between us that she feels strongly about, I will analyze what she's saying and process it. And like, well, I feel this way. Why does she feel that way? Right. Maybe I need to fix this. Right. Or maybe You know, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe she might be right. But that's both ways. You know, she has to do that too. Like, hey, let me see what he's trying to tell me so I can try to understand him. And then vice versa. You know, so communication
Sometimes it might not be right away.
Yeah, it might not be right away. It might take like a day or two.
It's a
but
process.
It's
it's
a
a
process.
process. But this is where that unconditional love come from. I'm never gonna be like, oh, we argue for a day and I wanna leave. You know what I mean? Or I don't want to deal. No, like this is just a part of our journey. I say it like this: being married, and I may be wrong. Being married, um, being married may be like you trying to get a promotion at a job. You're gonna try your best to like, hey, let me get it right. Like, let me make sure I'm doing what I need to do. Let me, you know. So I look at marriage somewhat like that. It's like you're trying your best to grow and move to the next level. You know. So I hope I answered your question
You
properly.
did. And so with that, with you saying that, I wanted to know, so how do you guys keep the romance alive? And how you guys prioritize it with you guys having two different schedules or being busy? How you guys prioritize romance? Merlene.
Well, we just say, okay, this day we're gonna go out. Let's not make sure let's not make other plans. Or if it's time for ourselves, I'll do like little pamper sessions for myself. Or if he has to do with his camera buddy, he'll go do some camera stuff because he loves that a lot.
Yeah.
That's time to self for self.
Right.
And me, I'll just relax or go out with the kids. We'll go out as
She
a
ain't
family.
answering your question properly.
No, she
I'll
answered
answer it.
half, but I wanted to the first half was how do you guys prioritize romance with
Okay,
each other?
so okay, for us, sometimes we'll do date nights.
Yeah.
So like the kids will know, like we take them everywhere with us, but like there's some nights we be like, hey, this is mommy daddy night. We're gonna go out to dinner and you know and spend time and talk and stuff like that. So I feel like that's how
We don't have a set schedule.
yeah, that's how every once in a while we'll do that. We'll do a date night. And again, last night was kind of like that. I don't want to spend time. But yeah, so that's what we try to do. And I try to accommodate. I try to understand. We try to understand. And the kids help us a lot. Like they know, like Lily will be like, Daddy, open the door for her when she get out the car. Don't make her mad. So we try. We try
They're
to
trying
do
to tell you, you know, how to romance mommy.
Yeah, so they understand. I mean, but yeah, that's how we do with romance, and we enjoy being around each other. Like um, the other night we were just in the bed just talking or whatever, and you know she goofy as heck. Like this girl, they be doing random stuff, acting crazy in the room, like just having a long conversation, and our kids is like, "What's wrong with y'all? Y'all just make all this noise talking, da 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 da." And that's a memorable moment for me because we actually just sat there and just talked and like laughed, and it made me think of the other day. So those are like the romantic moments too. Those little precious memories for me.
That's good. Look at Merlene. So then I would say I would wanted to ask you because I know you guys. I think a couple of years ago went to take a family trip to Jamaica. How was that? All of you guys went.
It was nice. It was different.
It wasn't bad. It was good. Okay, so it was an experience because Merlene has never been on a plane. The kids has never been on a plane. I have a few times. And it was just I don't know, man. It was just a great experience. Like it made me say we need to do more family trips. Like we need to do more family oriented stuff. And we were talking about this before this podcast that we don't show people online when we do things.
Yeah.
Like we do like a lot of like short trips and a lot of things, but I feel like it's personal. Like, you know, I love cars. We went to the racetrack and we had a ball. Like so we try to do things as a family to have fun. So ever since that Jamaica trip, that kind of started our like Jamaica, we went to the Bahamas. Like we'll go to Bradenton and we'll go all over the the county or the city and do different things. So we try to make it a monster trucks. We did monster trucks and stuff like that. So yeah, so that sparked an adventure for the family.
That's good. So I would ask you guys, what are some lessons you have learned about love and relationship on your journey?
Lessons.
Yeah.
Being patient.
Being patient.
Being very, very, very
When you
patient.
say patient, could you give a scenario where patient was tested?
Oh, where the patients were tested.
Yes.
As deep. I don't know.
I mean, 15 years in your pocket, I'm sure
It's a
there
lot.
was something where
Yes.
it's like, wait a minute, not me have to
So-
work on patience right now.
No.
So what
for
is
me-
one experience you guys can share with with the audience?
Like what with patience.
Yes, like
Where
it
was
was like
that?
a big where there
Well, it
was
was
a big
tested.
ordeal.
For me is being heard. Like it bothers me when I'm like you're not listening to what exactly I'm telling you. How can I say it? Like if I'm telling you something straight on, that's what I'm telling you. And if you like side chaining it and going other places, that's like the max for me. Like, no, I'm telling you directly what I'm telling you.
Women from Venus.
Yeah, men are from Mars, women from Venus. So I get
Sometimes
it.
I don't understand him.
Yeah, but that's for me. That's what it is. I'm gonna call her Meme, but I call her Meme. But Merlene, she respects me as a husband. Yes. No, see that I can't call her her real name on it, but I'm doing that for the audience. I'm letting the people know you're Merlene, but Meme anyways. But yeah, it's like that's my biggest thing. Is like I don't know. Don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's been tested. Like, yo, like listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you this. This is what I'm telling you. Don't sidechain. But
I have to repeat what he tells me to make sure I'm understanding what he tells me. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you got to process it.
Yeah, but I mean everything else is like, I mean it's like minor. I mean it's not like crazy. Like, hey, why you left this on the floor? I do it too, but you know what I mean? Like, you just use this cup, put it away. Did you do
You
this?
like the AC code.
Yeah.
That's not gonna test your patience. Whatever.
You
That
like
is
the AC
not gonna test
code.
your patience. But yeah, but that's it for me. Go ahead. What you think?
No, well, tested patience. I wasn't ready for that one.
It's coming. It's
Our
coming.
patience has been tested.
Of course, you have to have a lot of, and this is where that unconditional love comes, because somebody might do something to you, and you'll be like, "Hey, I'm out of here." But that type of unconditional love is like, "Yeah, but I love her.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out." Or she loves me. Let me figure it out. Let's figure it out. Like it's not like we want to escape or anything, So
We had a moment in time we wanted to find someone to talk to, but the way they were going to talk to us, it's like they was trying to make us separate. It was like, no, we want to stay together.
Right.
What can we do to stay together? I don't want to hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can go your different ways. We ain't trying to hear all that.
Yeah.
What can we do to work it out?
But this was like the early age of our marriage, like first 2 years.
Just like you guys said, you guys have to make sure that you guys take in I'll say the word assurance, because you can't just listen to everybody, because not everybody is on y'all team.
Yeah.
So
no, we want
my
to
next question,
make it work.
Oh, what'd you say?
We want to make it work.
Exactly.
Yes.
The willingness of wanting to make it work. And so
Gotta be two-sided,
before
though.
we end this live, I wanted to ask you guys, because I'm very big on self-care. So I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys do together to self-care? And whether it's with the kids or without the children.
We just go out bowling.
Yeah.
Something simple.
Yeah.
We just make sure we have family time when we can.
Yeah.
But we go out and we bowl.
So for us, it's always family oriented. Like self-care is like stuff we do together, and separate too. Like sometimes I'll take AJ and go do something, and Meme will take Lily and go do something. So that's like our self-care. Like as a couple. Individually, yeah, you know, we do different things. She likes getting her nails done and go relax and pedicure. And Lily will go with her, or me, AJ will go do something, or I'll go do something cameras related, you know. So that's like my piece right there. Anything, yeah, music too, my piece.
And I would want to ask you guys if you was talking to your son, what could you tell him about love? If you was talking to your daughter, Merlene, what would you tell her about
I can't
love?
talk to my son too.
I know,
I see
but
you doing. But
Okay.
I'll answer. Let me answer first. I mean, for my son, I would tell him love people that love you.
right.
You know, because and we let them know like the world is not sweet out here. Like we tell them, like we get bluntly honest with them. You know, we have deep conversations, and right now our main thing that we tell them is just be them.
Right.
Just be a child, be a kid. Like enjoy your childhood. Don't worry about the stresses of the world or the you know what's going on in the world. Worry about being AJ. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. But to love somebody is like not just telling them. And you know what? I can answer that question even better. Is by showing them.
Right.
It's not really just telling them like the way I am with people.
Oh yeah, she know I love her. Oh yeah, she knows
Yeah,
she
but
loves
it's
me.
so they watch us. Like, yeah, we've argued. I'm gonna tell you a story. One time, me and man got into a huge argument. Door slamming. I'm gonna be bluntly honest. Door slamming, everything. You know what Kalia did? She went in her room. She wrote a note, and then she slid it under our door. And we picked it up, and there's a picture of all of us together.
Oh my goodness.
So that right there opens your mind and be like, yo, we got to watch it. So our arguments now is me I'm not shutting all the way down, but I'm trying not to do it. We try not to argue. But even if we have an argument, we'll sit them down and be like, hey, this is what can happen in a relationship. Hey, we had a disagreement. We weren't happy about this. So we're very honest with them. We don't hide.
If you hide it, how they gonna know?
Yeah, we don't hide anything from them. So when they see that situation in the future, they know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And is that something you saw in your household?
Okay, yes. So for me, growing up, I grew up with my mom and my dad. It was just I'm one of five, but I really didn't meet my brothers and sisters till I was like 21. But so it was always me, my mom, and my dad. And that's how my dad was. My mom would go off. I thought, get that side. Like my dad would just like brush it off and like laugh it off and like not engage with my mom on like an anger thing. And
But they probably have their talk.
yeah, they have their talk. So I saw that as a child, and I guess I adopted that. That's why I know every child, their childhood affects them as adults. So that's why we tell them, that's why we try to walk the right path for our kids. Yeah.
Because I'll tell them I'll see things that I didn't want to see in my marriage. Like my household wasn't always, peaches and queen. Right. But the things that I've seen, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try that. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. Oh, that can drive a person off the edge. Okay, I'm not gonna do that because I was like, I don't want my marriage to end up like that. And if I see signs of where it's going, I'm like, babe, I've seen this before. We need to fix it. Or babe, I've seen this before. I know where it can go. Like I know the little red flags. Like, okay, look, this is going too far. Let's change the pace a little bit because at the end of the day, I know where it can end up because I've seen it. I've seen all the red flags. He know my little break it all or ain't no physical, ain't no cheating.
Yeah.
Or else.
So those are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Those are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like no physical hitting and no cheating. That I've seen it and it was beautiful and I don't want that in my marriage.
You seen the hitting and you seen the cheating and it was how was it?
It was not beautiful, and I didn't want that in my marriage. And I was like, I'm gonna make sure I don't say certain things that I know can throw him off the edge. Why test it?
Right, like
why
triggers.
test that water? I was like, no, if certain things will trigger your man or woman, why say it?
Right.
You know,
Right.
be mindful of what you say to each other, because at the end of the day, you can drive a person off the edge.
Right.
Or if you're a situation of you and him talking and it gets out of hand, give each other a breathing room, because well, somebody got to just walk out.
Yeah.
Like, let's come back to this situation when we got our head together, when we calm down, because sometimes things can get out of hand. You can't say you're not human. You're not a robot. Your feelings get hurt. No, when you hurt that person's feeling, just say sorry.
Right.
You'll come back to it. It is what it is. Just be that person. Just say sorry. You're gonna have to say sorry a lot. You're gonna have to forgive a lot. That's the marriage. We got to know how to talk to each other. It's like being a boss. You're not gonna go scream at your boss. Y'all gonna try to talk about it and handle that situation. I be telling my husband that. I tell my husband that all the time. I'm like, babe, we got to treat this sometimes like we in a job.
Can I tell a story?
He said the early.
Get up that night. Whatever.
Hey, my dog was so mad she threw the pillow.
Okay, that was
what did
a
you
prime
say?
example. Because this is what I asked him. I was like, how can somebody be so close and be so far at the same time?
Hey, and listen.
And I took the pillows and threw them off the bed because I felt like they were separating us.
It sparked the nerve. When she said that, it sparked the nerve. I remember, this is when we first moved away. Man, we were fighting, like arguing. And I was in the bedroom and she was in the kitchen, right? And man, spiritually, it felt like she was 10 million miles away. Like, physically, like, it just felt like she was like, and I jumped out of the bed. I went to her. I'm like, hey, man, we need to fix this, because it feels like you're like a million. I'm talking about me. So
but they're so close. It's like,
yeah. So when this happened maybe like 6 years ago, and when she said that to me last night, I jumped out. I was like, hey, you good? Nah, let's figure what's going on. What do you feel? So I scooted over next to her and like got real close after she threw the pillow all the way in the bathroom. You know what I mean? And then and I get it. So that's the other part. That's what I was saying earlier, is analyze what that person is saying to you.
Yeah.
Or when they need you, that touch.
Yeah, analyze what that person is saying to you. So I instantly was like, I know how that feels. I'm not gonna do that to her. And that's what helps a marriage move forward.
Like, because sometimes you may think that they sound crazy, but are you listening to the words? Like, are you grasping what they're trying to tell you? Honey, oh, that's all you need me to do is hold you or hug you? Like, I'm sorry, like, and I was like, oh, this feels so good.
Right, I got up out of bed. I didn't know how far she threw the pillow, first of all. I got up out the bed. I'm like half asleep, walking to the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God.
It's like, she really was.
This girl was like, she was on a mission. But these are the things, again, listening, understanding, unconditional, analyzing a situation as if it was you going through it, and that's what I feel like, that's what helps a marriage.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you don't understand what they're saying. It may sound crazy, but what are they trying to get at? Like, what are they trying to tell me? Because obviously it's something that's hurting them, but it's not hurting me, but it's hurting them. What can I do to make it better? Yeah. What can I do to change it? Let's try hard for each other, because at the end of the day, we all we got. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We all we got.
Especially moving away, technically from family, from your community.
Yeah.
How has that been challenging on your marriage? You guys living in Fort Lauderdale for years. Yeah. And then you guys now
all our lives, really.
Yeah.
But at first it was hard because the kids were so small. I only have one relative here, and he was busy as heck. So we were like alone. Yeah. So everything, and I guess that's why our time together is so like relaxing, because we were always with them. Like everywhere we had to go, we had to have our kids with us. We didn't have no cousins to come watch the kids for us, no mom, no dad. So it was difficult, but we made it, yeah. And our kids are pretty awesome. Like every kid can cause a problem, but our kids are pretty awesome. They're very responsible. So yeah. Mhm.
So you guys, thank you guys so much for coming on
No
and sharing your
problem.
story and experience about love and how to overcome different tactics, different techniques. Okay,
Mhm.
submission,
Mhm.
patience, assurance. You know,
Yeah.
there's many things that that goes
I
into
want to put
marriage.
this in here.
What'd you say?
Working at Publix have taught me a lot of patience,
Yes,
and I think
customer
it's helped
service.
me a lot in my marriage too.
Yes.
Okay,
What can I apply today? Because
bruh.
I need this to work. Yes. Yes.
Go Publix.
Shout out. But yes, thank you guys so much for coming
No
on. And
problem.
you guys have a lovely, lovely day. And I can't wait to hear more about your love stories and the great things that you guys are going to do in the community.
Okay, cool.
Bye.
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 Thank you.